we are on time this month. Here are my August favorites. Right, so a little bit slow to the game, but in August I discovered plants.
What?
Okay, let me retrack that. In my previous office, we had plants, right? And Ian and Liu Ying, and even Khalida, who were with me back then, they will remember that we had office plants. And I said, don't let the plants die. The plants died. And I could never figure out what happened, and I just took it to be that I just didn't have green thumbs. By the way, I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and I think I said green thumbs, he said green fingers, and then we had a discussion about it, and apparently green fingers is the British way of saying it and green thumbs is the American way of saying it. So both are correct, but anyway, I digress. So I figured that I just don't have green thumbs, fingers, whatever, and that was it. But then I talked to a friend, I met my friend's fiance Alice, and she was telling me that actually what plants need is not too much care. Like, the problem with a lot of people is we tend to overwater the plant, and it's actually better to, in fact, if you have to pick one, to underwater the plant, because they will survive better from being underwater. They can last quite a long time even though the soil is really dry, as compared to being overwatered, and then sometimes they sort of start rotting from within, and then there's kind of like no way to save them. So that was quite news for me, and I was very heartened and very encouraged to start trying again with plants. So I got myself 3 plants, went to Gardens by the Bay over the weekend, and got on impulse 2 plants from the shop there. Also because the pots were really nice and we thought like support local. And then later on went to IKEA and got a money plant, which is apparently the easiest plant in the world. Like, it's not supposed to die. But this time around I'm going to try very hard to keep it alive. And the Gardens by the Bay plants actually have really specific instructions, like 40 ml of water when the soil feels dry, like 1 inch into it. So I'm like, what? Anyway, so I got myself like a measuring cup, and I actually measured out the water, and I'm trying not to overwater, like maybe once every few days. So if you have tips on keeping plants and keeping them healthy, please drop me a line in the comment box below. I am no domestic goddess at all, no green thumbs figures, but we try, right? We learn and we try, and maybe this time around I'll be lucky. And yeah, I'm actually even thinking of reviving my old terrarium. I can find you all footage of this beautiful terrarium that I got when I first got into my office, but is now kind of sad. Yeah. So I got inspired. I think I'm gonna get a few air plants and try to see if I can plant some cacti in there and hopefully revive that. So wish me luck. I actually had a chance to watch stuff this period. I know we're out of lockdown, but it came highly recommended from some of my friends, and they say you have to watch Extreme Engagement on Netflix. So I am not a watcher of anything. Like I said, if you've been here a while, you'll know that I barely watch movies, only if they're like either English period drama, like Little Women was the last one that I watched and really liked. Only that genre, and maybe the odd like cartoon, aka animated feature. Otherwise, out of these genres, I'm not really into movies. But for TV series, so someone suggested I watch Extreme Engagement, and I find that it's a good way to unwind when I've done some work in the office. So I've talked about the Pomodoro technique, and I'll go into another video also on habits because you've asked for it. So some habits that I have learned, and one is to take like breaks when you're doing work. So this makes for a good break. It's about this couple who are engaged, and the guy is like super outdoorsy, super adventurous, wants to travel the world, wants to do all kinds of things, and the lady is they pegged her as being a bit more of a city girl, but when you watch it you find it's actually quite interesting because she's a lot tougher than she's given credit for. I mean, there's always this need to put a certain stereotype, and I don't know why, it really irritates me, but so for some reason the man is always given the like more adventurous side of the coin, and the woman is always given the like, you know, princessy and stuff like that. And yeah, she needs to wear like mascara in the desert, you know, because girls be girls, but she's actually a lot tougher than she seems at the start. So I'm still halfway into it, and I'm really enjoying it. So far I've seen them go to China, to Indonesia, to like, I mean, and they do all these marriage, relationship, like engagement rituals in each of these places, and it's all a bit tribal, and it's really, really interesting. So it's a bit like some sort of ethnography meets like relationship stuff, which is completely up my alley, both of these. It is nice to kind of see them go together, and since we can't travel this period, it's also a nice way to live vicariously. So extreme engagement, yeah, I'm really enjoying it. A favorite song that I've discovered is Kichimba. I really sang it. But basically this started because I think in my last favorites video I mentioned that I am considering about learning how to teach bounce. That's like the rebounding stuff that I do on that mini trampoline. And yeah, I'm full on into lessons now. It is quite a journey. I gotta thank Jay for being very, very patient and very being such a good teacher, really, like with all the little tips that he's been giving me. But on my side, one of my homework is to find songs that I want to bounce along to, and there's a specific BPM that kind of works for bouncing, because too slow and you're like, you know, like R&B tracks really don't work, sadly, and too fast you're like bouncing like up and down like a bunny, which sounds really wrong. But yeah, it's just too much bouncing and you can't really do any steps. So there is a sweet spot, and Kechimba is one of the songs that I just found randomly on Spotify. Like, I just listen to a lot of music and a lot of random music, and when I'm driving or when I'm doing stuff, then suddenly it will be like, oh, that's a song. And then I'll check what that is, I'll like the song, and then I'll go try it out on the trampoline. So there is quite a process when I pick the playlist. So this is one of the songs that when we were in practice doing it, Jay was actually, wow, this song is really cool. Like, he really likes it as well. And yeah, it's very upbeat, it's a bit sexy, it's a bit fun, and it's great for bounce. So that is my current favorite song. Another thing I like are these rings. Oops, let me show you. So these are like silicone rings. So if you follow me for a while, you know that I love to wear rings, but I can't wear rings for sports. So these are silicone rings that you can wear for sports. So they're like, they don't hurt you. Okay, you can't wear it for netball because you can't wear like jewelry for netball, but they slip on and off really easily. But basically they specialize in these silicone rings, and they're really cool. I got the stackable ones because I like my rings really thin, and they come in all different colors, and yeah, there's just a huge selection. You can get his and hers rings as well, which I think is really nice, and they're the sort of rings that you don't have to take off when you're doing sports. Okay, another favorite is this, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Chantecaille lip color. It's like, this is in what shade? Let me see. Verbena. Ooh, Verbena. And it's like a wine tint. So I really like this because, okay, firstly the color is really flattering on my skin tone. Secondly, it goes on really, really light. It almost feels like, you know, they have those mousse lip colors like in pots. I don't really like that because I got dirty my hands. But, so this comes in a slim stick, which is the easiest to apply, and it feels really, really light as air. It goes on like a dream, and the best part is it can be layered. So if you put on one layer, it looks like a sheer wash of color, like almost like a lip balm. And then you put on more layers, and it actually gets more and more intense, right? And it gives just this like more like a velvety sheen, I would say. It's not matte. The only downside to this is I feel like it could be a bit more moisturizing. Perhaps with the texture, I just assumed that it would be more like a lip balm in terms of the moisturizing properties, but my lips get really dry, and I find that I still need a lip balm underneath it for it to be nice and moisturizing the whole day. But otherwise, this is my new favorite lip color. It's in my bag. It's like the easiest thing that I reach for when I just need a pop of something, you know. Because, by the way, this mask thing, you know, everyone has had to rethink on makeup, because with the mask, you wear makeup, it goes on your mask. Let me know in the comment box down below if you want me to do like a mask makeup, like how to do makeup for when you're wearing a mask. And finally, I got these new throw pillows. Nothing special, they're just from IKEA. It's just that I have 4 throw pillows now, and they're all like longish, rectangular. I just thought a square one would be nice. And 2 of my cushion covers look really, really old, so I'm gonna replace them. And then I got extra because I saw the square pillows. I was like, oh, so cute. I love the tassels. This is like so more is more, right? It's like, is this olive green on the back and it's dusty pink on the front, with like yellow, I don't know what you call this, like running stitch. Yes, running stitch. That's how we learn home ec. And then all these tassels. So I think it's really cute, and it kind of really goes with my purple couch and my grey pillows. So that is my new favorite for the month. Alright, so those are my favorites for the month of August. Drop me a line below if you have any favorites. Please share them so I can check them out as well. Also let me know, plant tips. And also if you wanna want me to do a video on makeup for wearing a mask, because yeah, that is a separate thing that requires special skill. Otherwise, take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you next